Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Those Couple of Geeks. I hope all of you geekies are ready for this wonderful episode. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Tyler, aka That Midwestern Geek, and I'm here with my co-hosts. Guys, say hello. Adam.
Hello.
Holly.
Why are you the way that you are?
Because I like who I am.
Me too.
And Vana.
Hey.
All right, so starting off every episode like we always do, guys, what's freaking your geek this week?
Okay, so I recently finished a Pokemon Nuzlocke, which is very fitting for the episode today.
Yes, it is.
I had a good time with it. It was pretty challenging towards the end. It was Brilliant Diamond on the Nintendo Switch. If you don't know what a Nuzlocke is, basically if your Pokemon faints, it dies. And so you have to use different Pokemon, and you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter on each route. With that said, I got to the very end, and I fought the last person, the Elite Four leader, Cynthia. And she was pretty tough. She actually got my last Pokemon. She killed all my Pokemon. The last one was on 1 HP.
I saw that.
I did some pretty big brain strats out there to make sure that I was able to beat her. It was pretty fun. It's really fun. If you've never tried a Nuzlocke and you want to get back into Pokemon, but you always thought it was too easy, 100% look up Nuzlocking and try it out, because it definitely makes the game much more challenging and much more enjoyable, in my opinion.
So I have to ask, Adam, you usually have a theme for your nickname. So with the Nuzlocke as well, you forgot to mention, you have to nickname your Pokemon. And normally, from what I've known from you, is you have a theme for each time you do a Nuzlocke. So you have a different nicknames. Was there a theme this time?
Oh yeah. So in keeping with my nerdiness, my my character's name was Weeb, and my rival's name was Otaku.
Good.
And all my Pokemon were named after different anime characters that I felt fit them. So, for example, my Piplup, who was my starter Pokemon, who was the one who survived on 1 HP and beat Cynthia with a very clutch Ice Beam. I named him Tanjiro because from Demon Slayer, Tanjiro does the water style, sword style. So I had a bunch of different anime character nicknames. I'm trying to think of some other good ones, but that was my theming, was anime weeb themed.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyone else for freaking your geek?
I have officially crossed over into being an elderly person. For the first time ever, I purchased a puzzle and am now sitting and doing it. And it's very pretty. It's rainbow, and we love it because that makes it a little easier to do. And I tried to do it. I did it all last night, from the point that I got home until we went to bed. And my back hurt so bad. It hurt so bad that I was like, Tyler, I can't do this anymore.
Get out of the puzzle game.
It was the epitome of an old lady sitting with knitting needles, except it was sitting in front of a TV going, and this puzzle piece goes here, and that puzzle piece goes there. Where does this one go? Hello, kitten.
Well, and the fact that you hurt your back putting a puzzle together, that's just the icing on the cake. And that when you're trying to call yourself old, I was like, puzzles, they're pretty fun, but yeah, that's a little on the nose there, Holly.
And I'm the youngest out of all four of us.
Yep.
Hey, rub it in, why don't you?
You have the back of an old lady.
I do. Blame it on how many years I played soccer, man. My lower back is trash.
Also, for those listening, she showed us the puzzle. It's a 10-piece puzzle. It's really not that hard, so it shouldn't take her that long.
But it's rainbow, the colors, I don't know.
No. I kept trying to put it together, but they all looked brown, and Tyler was like, you gotta flip it over. Hon. That's just cardboard
Why
on the
is
back.
this a cardboard puzzle?
Oh my god.
All right. My freaking my geek this week. I'm really excited for D&D on Friday, because for all of you listeners, all of us play D&D. Holly's our DM. I think we mentioned it before. But our last session, whenever we left off, Adam and I's characters, who do not like each other, were so fed up with the NPCs in the game in our session that we ditched. We bailed, and we made a sign with our team that was to light something on fire so we would see it to come to their aid if they needed help. But we went to bed. If there was a sign, We don't know about it. We didn't see it. So I'm really excited to jump in and find out what terror we missed.
Yep.
If you ever had an awkward moment in your life, or like a moment where drama happens and you're kind of like sitting on the sidelines going, holy crap, did that just happen? That was me in that situation in that last session between the NPCs and our two players, where I'm like, wait, but we have a quest. Guys, what's happening?
Yeah, Adam and I's
Trash.
characters made like a side quest where we basically decided that we're going to kill the NPCs, and that's our goal.
Yeah, after you tried to frickin' lust after them and you decided, that's not gonna work. You need to die.
Hang on now. So there was a bit of lusting, but Ismark is one of the NPCs in question, and this man hit my character so hard that he almost killed me. I lost so much health from a single hit because I'm a wizard and I don't have much health to begin with. But beside the point, that was really rude of him, and you can't spell butthead without Ismark. And so that's why we got upset with him, and we're now team anti-Ismark.
Also, we both okay, I can't say the same for Adam's character. My character shot her shot with one NPC. It was like the first or second session. And whenever she was rejected, she immediately backed off and has not made any other advances. And this NPC is just rude. All the time, she's racist against elves, and my character's an elf. She's homophobic because my character's gay. She is like the worst kind of human because she is a human. And she's just so unnecessarily mean. And then Ismark's always rude. And he's hit Adam's character in the face twice.
Twice, yes, that's correct.
And so, I yanked Adam's character back last session. And I was like, all right, we're going into secrets.
The funny part is these characters are not supposed to be like this. Like, if y'all have ever read Curse of Strahd, these characters are supposed to be pretty much like your meat and potatoes type characters. Like, they just exist in this world for the plot. But that just simply is not how I like to DM. We have a story, we're spinning it my way. So they are sassy, they are rude, and they're gonna tell you how it is, and they're gonna, every time you ask them anything.
But to be fair, at the same time too, didn't they roll to seduce and got 1 off of stuff too? So that also plays into the factor of that.
Well,
You talking about my character?
Adam went back and forth every time.
Yeah,
I swear,
exactly.
he'd get really high.
20, a 2, a 20, a 2.
Yeah.
I have pretty sporadic rolls.
Yes.
Mine was I got a 9, and that just wasn't quite good enough because she's racist and homophobic. I needed a nat 20 to shoot my shot. I didn't get it.
D&D's not that much of a fantasy world after all, listeners.
Nope.
Oh, dear Lord. All right, let's get into the main content, shall we? I'm going to be channeling my inner Blaine. Blaine being the fire-type gym leader from Kanto who liked quizzes, specifically Pokemon quizzes. So welcome to the first ever Those Couple of Geeks Pokemon quiz, featuring me channeling my inner Blaine because I'm bald and I want a mustache like him. So
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason.
Exactly.
There it is. The quiz is over. We found the answer.
Could have been and I like fire type Pokemon, but nah, I don't really care for those.
Bald.
Kind of a water type. Bald.
Bald.
Look good in a lab coat.
It's true. He does.
I'm excited for this. As an avid Pokemon fan, I am excited to both see what you have in store and prove that I am actually not an avid Pokemon fan. And in fact,
you missed your opportunity. I thought you were going to say, I'm excited to prove that I am, in fact, the best that ever was.
There you go.
Oh, dang it.
Adam!
I'm sorry.
Didn't even have a snappy comeback to it. He was just like,
no,
damn it, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So number 1, welcome contestants.
I hate that you put frickin' transitions.
It's time for a quiz.
I love it.
What is it? The swipe? The swipe transition?
Alrighty. So let us introduce our contestants, as they are going to be my co-hosts, but they're going to have their alternate personalities that they like for specific characters in Pokemon. So first up, we have Vana as Cynthia, champion.
Ooh.
Next, we have Adam as Volkner.
Like it.
And last, we have Holly as Flannery.
Very nice.
And including with them, they have their signature and favorite Pokemon as well. This includes, for Holly, her favorite Pokemon being Eevee.
Yes.
And her signature Pokemon being Torkoal. For Adam, his favorite Pokemon was Arcanine, with his favorite signature Pokemon being Jolteon.
These are my fursonas.
And then for Vana, we have her signature Pokemon being Roserade, and her favorite Pokemon, of course, being Alolan Vulpix. So these are our contestants for the game.
I like it.
Moving on for rules of the game. 4 rounds of Pokemon-related questions. Get the right question and make your partner Pokemon happy. But if you get the question wrong, you'll receive a daycare Pokemon that were left behind.
Ugh, gross.
Those Pokemon left behind are Adam's least favorite, Huntail,
Ugh.
Vanna's least favorite, Claydol, and Holly's least favorite, Unknown.
They're just pointless.
Yeah, just an eyeball
Pointless
with
animal.
black
Pokemon.
little sticks coming out of it.
Yay, letters.
Let us start with round 1. First question goes to Vana. So, Vana, these are Pokedex entries for you guys. This Pokedex entry is, it's a voracious appetite compels it to devour large leaves bigger than itself without hesitation. It releases a terribly strong odor from its antenna. Your multiple choices are Venonat, Heracross, Caterpie, Venipede, and Winpod. What do you choose?
They all have antenna.
Well, they're bugs, so I mean, yeah.
Is it antenna or tene? Like, is it plural
Antenna.
or singular?
Antenna.
I think
I'm
they
gonna
all
say
have antenna. Isn't that the same thing? Aren't you just like tomato at that point?
I mean, I'm going for like,
Caterpie.
yeah.
What
Could go
was your
either way.
choice?
What's your choice, Vanna? Or sorry, Cynthia.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think it's Caterpie.
Your answer is C, Caterpie. Now let's see if you're right. The
Sorry, what did you
answer
think it was?
is... It is Caterpie.
Nice.
I got you.
Thank you. I was like, what would eat a leaf? And I was like,
Yeah.
probably caterpillar. And then you were like, Caterpie. And I was like, yeah.
And to be honest, the reason I said Caterpie is because I thought that was the only one that could go either way for the 2 antennas or 1. It wasn't even meant to help you.
Oh, yeah, because it's got like the single that splits
Yeah,
off.
and then
Yeah,
it splits,
yeah.
so that could be. I thought that's what you were going with the question, so you're
Yeah.
welcome, I guess.
Well, thank you.
Good
Way to
job,
go.
Vanna. Vanna, you have 1 point. You made your Pokemon happy. So far, you're in the
Pokemon
lead.
lives.
Woohoo! All right, moving on. Next question. Question for Adam. Their poison is strong enough to eat through the hull of a tanker, and they spit it indiscriminately at anything that enters their territory. Your multiple choices are A, Quillfish, B, Seadra, C, Tentacool, D, Octillery, or E, Dragel.
Okay, so I know for a fact that like 3 of these are poisonous, and then the other 2 are just like spitting ink. So I know that it's not Seadra and it's not Octillery. I can rule them out because they're just spitting ink. They're just friendly little boys. They're not doing anything to be mean. Quillfish always has like a little stanky look on his face, kind of got like a sourpuss look. But I think I'm gonna go with Tentacool because strong poison. He's like one of the OG poison types, eating through the hull of a tanker. So there's the water aspect, right? Because a tanker is a boat. Yeah, I'm gonna go C. I'm gonna go Tentacool on this one.
All right, Adam, you have C locked in for Tentacool. And the answer is Dragel.
Oh my goodness. I don't know much
Dang.
about that one. I think he's like a Generation 5 Pokemon, and that's kind of why I didn't play as much.
He is from the Kalos region.
Okay, well, I did know that at least.
To be fair, I wouldn't have even said that. I would have guessed Quillfish.
I
So-
almost guessed Quillfish, yeah.
Yep, wouldn't have guessed Drago at all.
Anyway, moving on, we have Holly. So, first question for Holly. When it starts fighting for territory with Parasect, the entire area gets completely coated in spores. Your multiple choices are Shroomish, Roserade, Vileplume, Shiinotic, Lilligant, or Florges.
So I immediately want to say Vileplume just because of the generation. But Parasect has been in future generation games too, so that doesn't automatically discount it. I'm in between Shroomish and Vileplume more than any of them, simply because of the more poison aspect. Shiinotic would be 2, but like I just don't know as much about Shiinotic. I'm gonna go with Vileplume. I know that it's one of Ty's favorite, so I'm hoping that he put that as an answer. So Vileplume.
Going with the soft spot of Vileplume, my favorite. Well, let's see what the answer is. And unfortunately, it wasn't Vileplume.
Dang
it was Shiinotic.
Oh, man.
I knew that.
You knew that one?
Yeah.
Dude, Shiinotic is such a creepy looking Pokemon.
Correct.
Like, if you saw that in the woods coming at you, it's just got dead little eyes. Like, ugh, no thank you.
Tendrils for hands.
Yeah, it's hands. Yeah, it looks like little alien hands. Ugh.
This Pokemon description came from the Galar region. When you go through to the Fairy type gym leader, there are Parasect and Shiinotic in that area.
Oh, that's fair.
All right, moving on. We're on to round 2. I have specifically sent all 3 of our contestants Pokemon sounds of a Pokemon's cry. So they have to identify which Pokemon is making that cry. So starting it off, who's that Pokemon? This question's for Vana. For the sound that you got, Vana, your multiple choices are A, Beldum, B, Chimecho, C, Esper, D, Munna, or E, Kirlia. What sound do you think your Pokemon is?
A, Beldum.
Is A your final answer?
Yeah. I won't lie. I still don't know because I was between it and Chimecho, but I had no idea. Having guessed like multiple choice does help.
This is why I had the multiple choice, is it does help in seeing and visualizing the sound of that Pokemon and what they look like, because it's hard to do that. For the listeners at home, they have a PowerPoint presentation.
I feel like Esper would just be really quiet. Doesn't it look like, like a little quiet cat? It looks like it has PTSD. It looks very shell-shocked.
It does. That's why it has psychic powers.
Because of PTSD?
She's seen it.
It's seen some things.
All right, we'll move on, and the answer is Kirlia.
Really?
Oh,
I would not have guessed that.
No.
really?
I also was thinking like Beldum or Munna.
Listening to it before my answer choices, I was going to say Metagross or Lugia. So whenever that wasn't one of the options, I was like, well, I felt like it was kind of metally.
Fair.
It is Kirlia, so that's what's fun about this. So for the listeners out there, the sounds are based off of their favorite type of Pokemon. For Vanna specifically, she liked psychic types. For Adam is ice type, and then for Holly, she chose flying type. With that in mind, we're moving on to Adam. Guess this sound. Your multiple choices are A, Glaceon, B, Frostlass, C, Frostmoth, D, Cryonoga, or E, Vanillish.
How did you say D?
I don't know how to say it.
Cryogonal, because it's like he's got this shape.
You flipped your G and you're in.
Cryogonal. There we go.
Also, for any good listeners, at our previous episode, one of these choices I would absolutely devour, and that would be Eve Vanillish. It's just an ice cream cone. Why wouldn't you?
I forgot that you flippin' brought that up with the eggs.
I forgot about that too, and I did not put it in for that effect, I promise.
Okay, so actual answer. Okay, I am so torn. I know it's one of these two. I think it's one of these two. It's either A, Glaceon, or C, Frostmoth.
Okay.
But I can't say for sure. It's so hard. Like, so a lot of the ice type Pokemon, like Vanna was saying, have that like kind of like fluttery sound to them. So I want to lean toward like Frostmoth because I'm like, okay, it sounds like it's got wings or whatever. I don't know why. That's just what it sounds like to me. So I'm gonna go with C. I'm gonna go with C with Frostmoth.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right. Your answer is Frostlass.
Oh my gosh.
I was shocked that you went with A or C because I immediately was like, it's definitely not A or C. It's either B or D.
That's so funny. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard listening to it's so weird because you hear it all the time. Like I've played with a Frostlass a bunch of times. It's one of my favorite ice types, if not my most favorite. But yeah, I don't know, you don't like pay attention to their cries very much.
Right.
This is challenging.
I thought it'd be a fun way to do a Pokemon quiz with the cries, because sometimes people know them, sometimes people don't. And that's why I kept in the ice type range, because a lot of the sounds are familiar, as we are about to hear with the next up one being Holly with flying type Pokemon and all the great birds.
Freaking birds.
So, Holly, your question is for this Pokemon sound. Your multiple choices are A. Corviknight, B. Talonflame, C. Braviary, D. Scaraptor, E. Manabuzz.
None of these are what I thought. So I immediately thought that this was going to be like a legendary bird. The one I had in my brain was like Zapdos.
I thought yours was Zapdos. I thought mine was going to be Articuno, by the way, is also an ice type. So I legitimately was like so ready. And then when that wasn't an option, I was like,
yeah, I definitely thought that this was going to be like Zapdos or something along the lines of like electric and flying. Knowing that none of these have anything to do with that. I'm thinking it's either Corviknight or Talonflame.
What is your final answer?
I'm going to go with Corviknight.
a good guess.
Is that your final answer?
It's my final answer.
This is a whole round where everyone got it wrong.
Oh,
It was Talonflame.
No, it was Talonflame.
I'm so mad.
You were so close, though, at least.
Talonflame is one of my favorite Pokemon, and it is a perfect fit because Blaine likes fire-type Pokemon.
I'm so mad because I freaking guessed one of your favorite Pokemon on the last one, but then decided, oh no, that's not the route he's going, because I know how much you love Talonflame. I am angry with myself.
We could probably have another one of these episodes if the fans, and if you guys want to do it again, someone else can do it, and someone else can come up with the noises, and we can try from there. There's a whole website for anyone that's out there that wants to test their knowledge with the sounds. It's like PokemonCries.com. That's what I pulled a lot of this audio from, and it's a fun way to play games because they usually do 10 questions within like the different generations, and it's a great way to learn your Pokemon. Moving on, updated score right now. Vana, you are winning by 1 point.
Yay!
Nice.
1-0.
Nailed it.
So we're moving on to round number 3. This is specifically Pokemon related questions for like moves. So question number 3, starting with Vana again. The question for you is, what move does the most damage / strongest move to a Pokemon's HP wise in the games? Your multiple choices are A. Explosion, B. Self-destruct, C. Head Smash, D. Eruption, E. Giga Impact, or F. Brave Bird.
I know the answer.
You do?
Yeah, because I'm assuming you're talking about just base power, like if you looked at the attack as is base power.
Yes, the most base power damage it can do.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive I know the answer to this one, actually.
I don't. I'm gonna guess B, self-destruct.
That's a good guess.
I feel like if you're throwing your own life out, that should be the highest.
Is B your final answer?
Yes.
All right.
That means it's wrong.
The answer was explosion.
250 base power, 100% accuracy. It's the upgraded form of self-destruct. My nerdiness is showing. I knew this one. I was excited about this. I was so pumped.
This is why I didn't choose this one for you, Adam, because I knew you would know this one. All right, moving on. We have question number 3 for Adam. Your question is, what Pokemon is considered the smallest size in all of Pokemon, weight-wise?
I know this.
Your multiple choices are A. Flabebe, B. Cutiefly, C. Joltik, D. Sinistea, E. Wishiwashi, or F. Meltan.
So first of all, I've always loved the name Flabebe just because I just like the name. It's funny. It's not like my favorite Pokemon by any means, but just Flabebe.
Hey.
Sometimes Pokemon Company knocks it out of the park with the names for their Pokemon.
And other times it's Cutiefly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and other times it's Cutiefly. Regarding the question, Pokemon that is the smallest, I am actually going to guess C. Joltik. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that Joltik is the smallest. And you said weight, and that was a big one for me because Meltan is really small, but Meltan is like a heavy little metal boy. So I don't think that Meltan could be the smallest in that regard.
Actually, I apologize. I meant height, not weight.
Oh.
Okay, well, that's just calling an audible now. All right, wait a second here. I got to reevaluate all of this because, like, height.
At least you didn't give me an answer before I said it, so that's why I apologize.
Golly, but now it's like height is even harder because they're all different shapes. Like a teacup is not very tall. Neither is a cutie fly. I guess you count its little dangly legs. Flabebe, I would always assume that part of its body is the flower, so that guy's pretty tall. I think Flabebe, they're pretty tall. I'm going to still go with Joltik, C, as my final answer for the smallest size.
C is your final answer?
It is my final answer, C, Joltik.
The answer is Flabebe.
Are you serious? What?
Yep.
It's 0.1 meters high, so it's very, very teeny, and then only weighs 0.2 pounds.
I'm more just shook by the idea that, like, how is it smallest? It's literally on a flower. Like, how small is that flower? You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those little filler flowers that you put in a vase.
What's the size of the pollen?
Yeah, so it's a tiny thing. So Flabebe is the tiniest Pokemon in all of the games.
Well, it does have a good name.
The reason I know this is because I play a game called Squirtle, which is Pokemon Wordle. And you have to, like, guess the gen, the types, the height, and the weight. So there's, like, a handful of Pokemon that I can fully tell you what each of the evolutions' height and weight are.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I'm going to need you to send the link at some point after this because I actually want to play that.
It's so fun. I really like it.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Alrighty, now we move on to Holly's question, which this is why I got confused, because Holly's question is, which of these is the heaviest Pokemon? So that's where I got it confused. So, Holly, your multiple choices are Cosmome as A, B, Eternatus, C, Groudon, D, Mudsdale, E, Steelix, or F, Snorlax.
So like I said, I like to play this game. That's about the height and the weight of Pokemon. So I know all of these are incredibly heavy, but I also know that Primal Groudon is heavier than regular Groudon. And I believe that it's between Cosmome and Eternatus. I'm pretty sure it's Cosmome. I'm going to lock that in.
Is that your final answer?
Yep.
That's a pretty good guess.
The answer is Cosmome.
Yes!
Nice. Cosmome.
It's like ridiculously high. I remember it's like, it weighs so much that it's technically off the scales of what that Squirtle game counts.
So I was cheating. Obviously, I got that wrong. I'm not cheating on my own questions, but I've been cheating on Adam and Holly's. Holly, it's 2,204 pounds. For reference, a Snorlax is like 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So the reason why I thought that this was the correct answer was because there's like a bunch of memes of like how jacked is Ash Ketchum, and it's because like at one point in the show he's like picking up this and like holding it like it's a little baby, and then people like post like the screenshot of like the Pokedex. I can't remember exactly how much it weighed, but I knew like, oh, it weighs like a ton. It's like, yeah, he's just like cradling like several tons, like it's no big deal.
It's literally 1 ton.
So the official Pokedex, Vanna, you had it basically there. It was 2,204.4 pounds is how much it weighs.
You're going to say you were basically almost there because I didn't include the 0.4?
No, because you did 2002, so you're almost there. You had just two more.
I said 2,204, but thank you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, well, I take it back. I apologize.
She's cheating also, so.
And I know it in kilograms. So it's in kilograms, it's 999.9.
That's a good little fun facty there.
Yep, because it's the biggest one because it goes up to 1,000.
All right. Score update. Vanna and Holly, you are tied. Adam, you're at 0.
I am in dead last. This is not looking good.
Well, we do have one final round. So here we go. Starting with Vanna. Your question is, which first 2 Gen 2 Pokemon were audiences introduced to and debuted during the feature film Pokemon the First Movie? Your multiple choices are Donphan and Marill, Donphan and Snubbull, Pichu and Togepi, or Marill and Snubbull.
Ooh, what a good question about a movie I haven't seen.
I thought you saw the first movie. I thought you said you watched the first few.
Now, she's seen the first anime seasons.
Yeah.
Oh.
But she's never seen the movie. But I'm learning this for the first time, and that's going to be Remedy. I had my birthday party at the movie theater, and we all saw this, and we all got the promo cards. It was
cute.
It was a big deal. Pokemon was a big. It still is a big deal, but it was a big deal in the early 90s.
I seen the Jungle Book Pokemon movie. That was pretty cute.
Zarude with Zarude.
Yeah.
That one is pretty cute, actually, if you haven't seen it.
You want to take a swing at it?
I'm going to say Meryl and Snubble.
So Meryl and Snubble, is that your final answer, D?
Yeah. How come you only asked me that? You didn't ask Adam that.
What?
It makes me nervous. He always asks, is that your final answer?
He always asks if it's a final answer.
Yeah.
No, he didn't ask you that last time.
He definitely did.
Roll back the tapes, geekies.
Yeah, she's getting real shaky now over here. She's like throwing out shade, like, how come you're asking only him that, huh? Her back's against the wall.
The final answer is it was Snubble and Donphan, as Meryl was introduced in the Orange Island series before the movie came out. It was Tracy's Pokemon that it was first introduced there. But in the Pokemon the first movie, Donphan was one of the first appearances, and then in Pikachu's Vacation, the short, Snubble was introduced. So those were the two first second generation Pokemon that were introduced at that time.
Yeah. I actually thought it was Meryl and Donphan because I remember the little short being about like Meryl's big day out or whatever.
Yeah, it was Meryl, Raichu, Snubble, and Cubone that were all a gang against Ash's Pokemon. But Meryl was introduced because it was Tracy's Pokemon in Orange Islands, which premiered before the Pokemon the first movie.
I have a thing that's going to date me a little bit here, and you guys might remember this too. But when Meryl was first like leaked back in the day, and like leaking back in the day was not the same as it is now on like internet forums and everything, right? This was like word of mouth. Everyone thought that this was going to be a new evolution of Pikachu that would evolve into a water type and they called it Peekablu, like Pikablu. So for a long time as kids, everyone was like, there's this new Pokemon Peekablu, and like we all talked about it on the playground and stuff, and then it turned out to be Meryl, and it was like just a whole different, Pokemon altogether. But yeah, you can see it too. It was definitely like kind of supposed to be the next Pikachu-y, mascot-y looking character.
Yep, absolutely.
To get one of the two right for a movie I've never seen.
It's true.
I'll give you half a point.
No, because if she ends up winning, I'm gonna need you to back up.
No, you don't need to give me half a point.
Okay. I won't give a half a point. But we'll keep moving on.
Give Adam a chance.
We might have a tiebreaker.
Yeah, for real. I need to not have her have a half point up on me.
All right. So it's still Vanna 1, Holly 1, Adam 0. So Adam,
all too aware.
You are next. Your next question is, according to an article of USA Today published February of 2022, so this is recent. I'm sure you've read a lot of USA Today.
Oh yeah, I'm a subscriber.
No. What was on the list? What was the number one worst looking Pokemon for this article that they stated was the number one worst looking Pokemon? Your multiple choices are A, Watchog, B, Licky Licky, C, Kling Clang, D, Gumshoes, E, Paris, or F, Stunfisk.
See, the hard part about this is not knowing the article. All of these are disgusting Pokemon, with maybe the exception of Paris. That's the only one that's like kind of redeeming to me, because he's just a little crab and he's got mushrooms on his back. Like, he's fine. Gumshoes is just he's very presidential. He's not my first pick. Let's just say he's an interesting looking fella. I actually think Stunfisk is kind of a cool, unique design. It's like a flounder or something. Like, I don't really hate Stunfisk. Klinklang gets a lot of flack because it's just basically Magnemite, but like in Gen 5, right? They were like, here's a cog, here's 2 cogs, here's 3 cogs, and it's just cogs that are rotating with a little face on it. And then, of course, you've got Watchog, which just, he looks like, you know who Watchog looks like? He looks like in the Jungle Book, whenever the snake does his like hypnotizing eyes on Mowgli. That is who Watchog reminds me of, and I hate it. And I don't like it because I used to be scared of that in the scene in Jungle Book.
Stay with me.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like a very like niche description, but I feel like if you see it, you'll get it if you've never seen what Watchog looks like. And then, of course, you have Licky Licky, which, you take an awful, disgusting little Pokemon like Lickitung, and you make him even more disgusting. He looks like something from like royalty. Like, he's got his little bib and he's got his fat belly with a Wi-Fi signal on it, and then he's got this gross tongue that's just like, at least Lickitung's tongue was kind of like hanging down. It was casual. Licky Licky's tongue is just like just protruding outward. It's just erect, pointed right towards you. It's disgusting. So I'm going to go with Licky Licky because of this list, he's the one that I think is the grossest Pokemon. Or sorry, the worst looking Pokemon. So I'm going to go with Licky Licky.
I hate you describing Licky Licky's tongue as erect.
It just sticks straight out. And it's like, whose tongue? Ugh. What a gross little Pokemon. They should have never made this.
All right. I want to hear, Holly, which one do you hate the most?
Or what? Okay, so the question is the worst looking. It's
there you
not
go.
what
But that's
you hate
what I mean.
the most.
Which one do you
is
think
the
is the worst
looking?
Yeah, but I hate him based on their looks.
I would say Gumshoe.
He's all right. He's just like a little
I
ferret.
hate
He
him.
looks kind of like very business. He's got his hands behind his back. He's
Very
like,
business.
Gotcha. What about you, Vanna?
Yeah.
What's your of this little list? Which one do you think is the yuckiest?
I was trying to think of what the outside world would think, right? Because as someone who played the game, I would agree I do not like Gumshoe. I think the design's kind of creepy, and I don't like playing him. But I feel like from the outside looking in, Watchdog kind of just looks like a weasel. Maybe like Stunfisk? I don't know.
You just made a point that like made me think. So this is an article published in February of 2022, and the games that were out during that time were Sword and Shield, right? So it's like a newer generation. So I'm wondering if they would go through the hassle. I'm going to stick with Licky Licky. I'm going to stick with Licky because here's the thing about Licky Licky, right? They took a Pokemon that was gross and they gave it an evolution, and they didn't need to do that because there's other Pokemon that deserved a cool evolution, like Tauros, and is a cool Pokemon. And instead they were like, oh, what about this gross tongue Pokemon? Let's give it an evolution. So I'm going to say Licky Licky, B, final choice, lock it down.
Is that your final answer? It is Licky Licky. Is that your final answer?
Oh, yeah, dog. Yeah, for sure.
This is your last chance to get some points and win.
I'm picking Licky Licky. Wrong or right, he's still gross. And USA Today is wrong if they didn't pick him as the number one worst looking.
Okay. The answer is on that top list.
Dude, this is why no one reads your dumb magazine, USA Today. This is such a bad take. That is like, of all of those, that is arguably the best looking.
The little mouth pincher teeth are kind of creepy.
He's a little crab.
But he looks better than Parasect, who has literally just been fully engulfed by this fungi.
That's true.
Yeah, that honestly, Parasect is grosser because he's like a zombie. Yeah. No, USA Today, you're bad. You made a bad choice.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. USA Today, you're very wrong, and it's okay, but we'll forgive you and move on.
And Adam, because of this, you get yourself 4 Huntails just for you, because unfortunately you are out of the game.
God, what a nightmare.
4 Huntails to flesh out your team. You have 2 you like, and then
Huntail. Yeah. I'm gonna go drown myself with them since they're swimming. They're fish type Pokemon, whatever.
All right. Next is Holly. Holly, you can win this. If you don't, it's gonna be tiebreaker questions for you both.
All right.
So, question number 4.
No pressure.
Which generation didn't introduce a pure electric type? Your multiple choices are Gen 4, Sinnoh, Gen 7, Alola, Gen 8, Galar, Gen 6, Kalos, or Gen 5, Unova?
That's a toughie.
Great question.
Pure electric type. So it's not a dual typing, it is only the electric type.
Huh.
That's a tough one.
It is a hard one because, so I immediately think, because you have the Raichu up there, I immediately think of Alola. With the psychic electric, but that I know you just put Raichu up there because you like Raichu.
Yeah,
I know that isn't but that's where my brain immediately goes because of that. I'm trying to think of the gen that Zebstrika was, because that's in the middle somewhere. Fudge, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Alola just because I said it, and I'm gonna go with it because I genuinely don't know.
Alola, final answer?
It's gonna have to be. Dang.
The answer is Kalos.
Dang it.
Kalos region didn't introduce a pure electric type. So, I know we have a Celebration Pikachu at the end, but
I did not know the answer to that one, Holly, but the only reason I knew it was Alola is because that's one of my favorite gens because I first played it with Vana, and not the Alolan Raichu. You're right. He's electric psychic. It's that little Pincherchin. Is the pure electric type.
Oh, yep. I see now.
Black ball thing that's on
The Totor that one.
Yeah, I can't remember in Galar which one is the pure electric type though. I was racking my brain, and that's like one of the more recent ones. Sword and Shield.
It's the Pin Arechu, whatever it's called. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
No, Pincherchin is a Lola. That's what I was just saying.
Is it a Lola? Oh,
yeah, that's a Lola. Because it's based off of like a what are those spiky black balls in the ocean? The urchin, sea urchin. Yeah, it's Pincherchin. It's like an urchin, but it's electric. I guess because sea urchins hurt and they sting you. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of which one it is in Galar, but that was a tough one. Congratulations, Vanna, on the win.
I didn't win.
We're tied.
Yeah, it's a tie.
Congratulations on the tie, y'all. I thought Vanna won. Whoops. Oh, Zero Aura. That's a mythical too. That's a tricky one.
Yep. So and by the way, I found out which pure electric type it was. It was Yamper in Galar.
Yeah,
Yamper. Of course. Oh,
wow.
God, how did I not know Yamper? The corgi Pokemon. Our little corgi would be so sad. Ace would be so sad to know I forgot about that.
All right. So we're gonna do some tiebreakers here. So the question is for Vanna. In Ruby and Sapphire, there is an Elite Four member named Phoebe, as you can see here.
Mm-hmm.
What was Phoebe's ace Pokemon in the game? Your multiple choices are Gengar, Dusclops, Sableye, Banette, or Miss Magius.
Another game I haven't played. Yeah, I feel like my 1 point counts better because I'm at a disadvantage. I haven't been doing this since I was a child.
Oh, in your defense, this one's very hard. I've played this game a lot of times and I don't know the answer.
Yeah,
so.
I'm literally Googling it.
I knew she was a ghost type trainer. I thought that's what she was going to ask you because I was like, okay, that's a fun one because she looks like Hawaiian. You think like, oh, like grass type, but she's like,
and she is a ghost type trainer.
Yeah, because they were all ghost types that you listed off.
Can you list them again? I'm sorry.
Yep. So I can show you the Pokemon too.
That'd be sick.
Gengar.
She knows Gengar.
I mean,
yeah, I know what Gengar looks like.
Okay, Gengar. Dusclops.
You better know Gengar.
Right?
We got in a whole fight about a Gengar once.
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta.
It does sound like Bayonetta.
It does. A little less sexy.
Yeah.
Well, to me.
Or more with that zipper mouth.
Ooh, yikes. PG-13.
Sableye.
I hate that little gremlin.
He's got diamond eyes.
He does. He has a diamond in his chest too. He's like a little gremlin. In all of the games, he's like twitching. Like he's like constantly twitching when he moves. Like,
and then the last one is Miss Magius.
I love Miss Magius. She's got like witch girl energy.
I'm gonna say Miss Magius because the girl looks like a feminist to me.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
What a reason.
The answer is Dusclops. She's got two of them. So that was her ace Pokemon.
Two of those.
I wouldn't have guessed that either.
Same kind of question for Holly, but this one is for a different gym leader specifically. Your gym leader is Chuck. Who was his ace Pokemon? Your multiple choices are Machamp, Hitmonchan, Primeape, Hitmontop, or Poliwrath.
Great question. What gen is he from?
He is from Generation 2.
Sick. Okay. The one that I have the least amount of experience with. Love that.
Yeah,
love that
right?
For us.
That's funny. He knew when he picked these for y'all. He's like, Vanna's never played this one. Holly's barely ever played this one.
Literally. Anyways.
And you know he knew too because we filled out a little questionnaire for him a while back where he asked what was your least played. He's evil like that. I'm calling him out.
So I'm going to go with Poliwrath simply because it's the one that's the most out of left field. And so I feel like it would make the most sense as an ace because typically the aces, other than the one Phoebe, because she has two, like we see that. So that's what I'm going to say.
Holly, is that your final answer?
It's going to have to be Ty.
Holly, you have won the Pokemon quiz.
Yeah, I knew that one. I was like, she got it right. Yay! Dang. Yeah, he has a Primeape and a Poliwrath.
It's just Poliwrath is his.
Yeah, it's just the one because it has that water typing, so it's completely different. So
Well, his gym is like he's training under a waterfall too, so that's like part of like his martial artist aesthetic, and that's why he has the Poliwrath is like the water type. Yeah, I knew that one. I didn't know the other one. Those were good. Those were good questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad you won. I had no business being in the finals.
I'm shocked Adam's not here.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm more honestly. My takeaway for this whole episode is that USA Today just get new writers. I mean, like you have bad journalists who have bad opinions.
Do you want to know something funny? As I was trying to find something, and that was the article that popped up, and I was like, I'll just go with it. Let's see what happens. Because it was an article.
It works.
Yeah.
Well,
you'd have been better off with a BuzzFeed quiz. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, guys, I hope did you guys have fun? I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah, that was very fun.
I know it was really stressful. Maybe next time someone can take the reins and try their own Pokemon quiz. I think it'd be fun to do another one of these. But I am glad that you guys had a lot of fun. I know it was Vana. I'm sorry I threw some questions your way that you're probably like, man, why did I get these? Because I thought you watched the Pokemon the first movie.
Because who hasn't?
Me,
Vanna.
Well, guess what?
Okay,
guess what, honey?
Coming from who?
Don't at me.
We're also for sure watching that Pokemon, not the new one, not the 3D one, but we're watching that movie on It's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure we're gonna watch it this weekend.
The new one, the Mewtwo Returns, is on Netflix, but it's in the weird 3D.
Well, we'll find the classic version.
So.
I saw Detective Pikachu.
I mean, that's a good movie too. But
that's true. That does it for our episode. Thank you all so much for listening. Again, thank you so much for listening. Please send feedback to our email at thosecoupleofgeekspodcastinfo@gmail.com. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find our podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us. On top of that, too, we're going to be starting up a TikTok channel soon, putting some content on there where you can actually see us as well. On top of that, too, stay tuned. We're going to have a special guest. We're going to be interviewing a special guest relatively soon, so that's going to be fun. Me and Holly are going to be running the reins on that while Adam and Vanna are out on their own little mini vacation. But stay tuned for their next episode, and stay geeky, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.